If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you're a fan of football. And who can blame you? It's hard hitting.
Second and 10. Lulay over the middle. Oh, what a hit that was. And G. Roy Simon. And the time was bang on.
It has incredible plays.
Lots of time. Deep shot again. Intercepted. Come on. What a pick by Robert Carter.
And it's the perfect excuse to get absolutely wasted in the name of watching modern barbarians. One thing you may or may not be familiar with is Canadian football. Up here in Canada, our main league is the CFL, which has been around since 1958, though previous iterations existed long before that. In this video, we're going to be covering the differences between Canadian and American football, so that way you understand the game us Canucks love. Now, before we get into things, I just want to outline a few things. Firstly, the CFL has went through some rule changes over time, and there are rule changes that are coming into the 2026 season. This video will be as accurate as possible of the rules for the 2026 upcoming season. There are some rule changes that are coming in for the 2027 season. Those will be addressed at the end of the video. Now, let's get right into it. First off, the field is massive. In Canada, the field is 110 yards long instead of 100, and the end zones are 20 yards deep, not 10. That gives you an extra 30 yards of real estate to play with. Deep passing routes and kick return space are a huge part of the game because of it. On top of that, the field is also 65 yards wide compared to the NFL's 53 1/3. That's nearly 12 yards wider. It means defensive backs have to cover a ton of ground, and offenses can really stretch you to the sideline. Now, one of the biggest visual differences, the uprights are at the front of the end zone, not the back. That means if you're standing on the goal line, the goalposts are right there. It makes field goals shorter, but it also creates the occasional hilarious situation where a quarterback accidentally hits the post on a pass.
Well, Winnipeg's headed to the cup. Fajardo, end zone off the upright dead ball, and the Bombers have won the Western Final.
Let's move to the biggest gameplay difference. 3 downs instead of 4. You've got only 2 chances to get that first down before you're usually punting. This makes offenses way more aggressive. If you're a running back and you can't get anywhere close to 5 yards on first down, then you're kind of useless. Then you're just punting. Next up, the waggle. This is one of the most famous Canadian rules. In Canada, the offense can have multiple receivers in motion toward the line of scrimmage before the snap. Those guys get a running start, which makes timing routes, crossing patterns, and deep shots really explosive. When paired with 3 downs, this forces aggressive play calling and can create some really exciting plays. You'll also notice there are 12 players per team on the field, one more than in the American game. Usually that extra player is an extra receiver on offense, or an extra defensive back on defense. This naturally complements the 65-yard wide field. Now, the Rouge, also known as the single. This is a purely Canadian rule. If on a returner is tackled in the end zone, or if they take a knee in the end zone, this does not result in the touchback. If in the American game this happens, this is called a touchback, and the team would then start their drive at the 20-yard line. However, in the CFL, this is called a Rouge. Instead, you move up to the 40-yard line, however, you do give up 1 point. This may not seem like much, but in a tight game, this may force a team late in the game to go for a 2-point conversion after a touchdown they otherwise wouldn't have gone for. Teams have arguably lost championships for giving up this 1 point earlier in the game. In the past, the Rouge has also existed on any kicks that went through the back or side of the end zone. This no longer exists in the CFL. Speaking of kicks, there's another big difference, the no yards rule. When the ball is punted or kicked from a kickoff, the kicking team has to stay 5 yards away from the returner until he touches the ball. If they are closer than that, it is a 15-yard no yards penalty. This keeps the feel of the traditional returns whilst protecting the returners from the high impact hits. This is the CFL solution to this problem rather than having a fair catch rule, and it still gives the opportunity to have a surprise onside kick.
Toss, they wanted the ball and they're about to get it. Short kick, what a start! Lofter hops all over it. Trickle just outside the 40 and the Riders have it. What a way to start this Labor Day clash.
Also, the Canadian football is slightly larger than the NFL ball. It's the same length, however in circumference it's a little bit wider. This can have an effect on grip and spirals, and especially in cold weather games. The play clock in the CFL is shorter too, 35 seconds instead of the NFL's 40, so everything happens a bit faster. You don't see teams huddling up for half a minute, they don't have time. It's quick, there's constant motion. In the past, it was a 20-second clock blown in by the official. This will remain only after the 3-minute warning at the end of each half. Before the warning though, it is an automatic 35-second play clock. Each team only gets 2 timeouts per game, not per half. So, coaches have to be extremely strategic and careful when they use them. On defense, one subtle but important rule is that defenders have to line up 1 yard off the ball at the line of scrimmage. That space changes a lot. It helps reduce trench collisions, and it gives running backs and quarterbacks a bit more breathing room. Then there's the CFL Canadian ratio. This is a rule designed to distinctly keep Canadian football Canadian. Each team must have 7 Canadian starters who are listed as nationals. They're allowed, though, to have, in addition, 1 naturalized American. This is a player defined as one who has played for 3 years with their club or 5 years in the CFL. As the game winds down, you'll hear about the 3-minute warning instead of the NFL's 2-minute warning. In those final 3 minutes of each half, the clock stops after every play that ends out of bounds, after incomplete passes, and after every score. So it really stretches out the drama at the end of games. The old CFL play clock was a 20-second clock that was not automatic and blown in by the officials. This will remain for the last 3 minutes of the game. The motto of the CFL is "No lead is safe," and that couldn't be truer. Finally, overtime in the CFL is a lot more like college football than NFL. Each team gets the ball at the opponent's 35-yard line, and they both get a chance to score. On touchdowns in overtime, they are also forced to go for 2-point conversions, no kick converts. If it's tied after 2 rounds, in the regular season, they then take turns exchanging 2-point conversion attempts until there is a winner. In the playoffs, however, they continue under the previous format until there's a winner. Now, as mentioned before, there will be some rule changes coming in 2027. This specifically relates to field dimensions. The field will go from 110 yards down to 100. The end zones will go from 20 yards down to 15, and the uprights will move to the rear of the end zone. These changes have been very controversial here in Canada. However, the commissioner of the CFL assures 3 downs and other key components of the Canadian football game will remain. And that's Canadian football in a nutshell. It looks similar to the American game, but with those changes it plays very different, which is why NFL or college experience does not guarantee success in the CFL. I hope you enjoyed this video and now have a better understanding of the game we love up here in Canada. Here on Canadian Football Central, we do league-wide coverage of all 9 teams, as well as some small coverage of U Sports, which is Canadian college football. So if you haven't yet, make sure you like the video and subscribe to see more Canadian football content. Also, make sure you join our Discord using the link in the description below, where we talk all things sports, whether it's CFL, NHL, NFL, college football, or any other sport. Peace, love, and positivity for all you wonderful people at home, and we will see you guys next time.